guns to get what they want, and she's a U.S. Senate candidate.
Right.
That's my essential beef.
And you think that we point those out? We've said those are equal.
I think you have done some of that. I don't think it's the main thing that you do when you talk about the media. But the thing that I feel like where we are in the same boat, and you don't accept that we're in the same boat, but I think we are. Yeah. Is like, I remember right after the 2000 election, and I won't keep you here forever. I'm sorry. Right after the 2000 election, you said something. I remember it was about George Bush and Dick Cheney. It was right after Bush v. Gore, and you said something to the effect of, Bush said, "Can we have the recession outside today because the weather's so nice?" Right. With the idea being that George Bush is an idiot. He's an infantile person who thinks that recess and recession are the same thing. And after the teabag the White House before they teabag you sign goes on Fox News, we talk about what the whole idea of teabagging it is and how funny it is that they don't get what that word choice means. I sort of feel like we're doing the same thing, that essentially you exaggerate in order to be funny or in order to make a point, and everybody understands just a little exaggeration.
That's true.
But there's a commitment. I think we both have a commitment to not lying, to telling the truth even when we are making a point.
As we see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody does. I think I don't doubt that it's genuine. There is a part of me that feels like there is a high-mindedness to news and journalism that doesn't exist. I feel like I do have liberties that you don't have, and I could lose them by stepping into that. And what I would gain in that, I think, is a little bit more dignity, a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like I'd have a little more skin in the game, and I think there's something about that that's more courageous than what we do. So that I very much admire. But I also think, though, that there is a part of me that says, like, these rules have existed for people such as me forever, and we're not the ones bending them. I'm not.
We're getting to be more like you. You're not getting to be more like us.
Kinda.
You can tell the rally, then you got a little bit more like us.
Yeah, because I felt like in 12 years, I'd earned a moment to tell people who I was.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And you know, this isn't going to be me forever either. And that doesn't mean, you know, I'm going to remember everything. But in my life, I also try and actually get on the field and help people, just in a different way, just not through the show.
Not through the show. You're a mensch for spending this much time with us.
I am a mensch.
You are a mensch.
It's a Yiddish word, right? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, and you can edit this out. I like you. There's, you know, we can have different points about, well, this is a little bit unfair as it goes in there, and I completely agree. Like, what happens in discourse is not precise.
Yeah.
But what is important, I think, is the place that people come from. And it's important to remember, like, when I do those things, I do try and remember where I think people are coming from, and I'm trying to do better in my life remembering that from even those that I really disagree with. Yeah. And I think some of that is based on, you know, the whole idea, you know, I don't know if you know this Iranian journalist, Maziar Bahari, but okay, so he was arrested. And there are, like, as I said, I think, like, there are real enemies in the world, and really just bad, evil things. But there are a lot less of them than we probably, from watching all this stuff, think that there are. And that's all that I just try and remember in my own head to keep saying, because you got to understand, I watch this stuff like, you know, Clockwork Orange. I'm strapped to a chair with my things, you know, like, it just comes out. It's like if you watch local news all the time, you're going to think something terrible is going to happen in your family a lot. You will feel the fear more than.
I will definitely be afraid of driving for fear of car crashes.
Can I tell you this? Or the intestinal flu. That is, here's what's the most amazing thing about this interview. I have not thrown up once while we've been doing this. And that is, I believe that may be the longest in 24 hours that I have gone. You, my friend, are like ginger root. You are the ginger root of interviewers, in that you have pulled things out of me I never knew were there, and yet still I leave not nauseous. And that is a wonderful gift and a talent that you bring to the news world in a way that most people don't, and I admire that, and I think that's really great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for all the time, John. I really appreciate it. I will shake your hand.
I don't want to do it because I have the boubons.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
It was really nice.